We live in a world that is terrified of silence. Most people cannot eat a meal, walk to their car, or even sit for 10 minutes without reaching for a digital distraction. Somewhere along the way, silence stopped feeling peaceful and started feeling uncomfortable. We have been trained to believe that being social is synonymous with being successful, and that the person standing alone in the corner must be lonely, awkward, or somehow falling behind everyone else. But what if the opposite is true? What if the people who intentionally avoid the crowd are actually protecting the most valuable resource in modern life: deep, uninterrupted attention and the ability to think clearly? In an era of popcorn brain and fragmented focus, the ability to spend time alone without constantly seeking stimulation has quietly become one of the rarest psychological superpowers a person can develop. Intelligence rarely announces itself in the middle of a noisy crowd. It usually works quietly in the background, thinking deeply while everyone else searches for the next burst of excitement or artificial dopamine. To understand why solitude feels powerful for some people, we first need to understand how modern social environments constantly stimulate the brain with endless rewards, notifications, conversations, and external validation. Every notification, every trivial conversation, every like, and every piece of online validation provides a small reward that slowly teaches your brain to expect constant stimulation instead of meaningful engagement. Over time, reading, deep thinking, and even sitting quietly begin to feel strangely uncomfortable, not because they became worse, but because your reward threshold has gradually been raised far beyond normal life. Rare personality types often experience the opposite reaction. Instead of feeling energized by constant stimulation, they become mentally exhausted and naturally seek environments where their attention can finally slow down and recover. For these people, solitude is not isolation or escape. It is a recovery process that clears away the mental residue left behind by hundreds of conversations, distractions, decisions, and tiny interruptions throughout the day. Just as your brain physically cleans itself during sleep, solitude gives your mind time to organize scattered thoughts, remove cognitive residue, and restore the clarity that constant stimulation slowly steals from you throughout the day. The people who constantly seek stimulation often confuse excitement with fulfillment. But meaningful satisfaction grows slowly through focused attention, deep thinking, and experiences that continue to matter long after the excitement fades away. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung believed that not everyone is designed for the fast lane of social success. Some people are naturally drawn inward because their deepest work happens through reflection rather than recognition. Jung called this journey individuation. It is the lifelong process of becoming the person you truly are instead of becoming another copy shaped by other people's expectations, opinions, and endless comparisons. Many people believe they are falling behind during their 20s or 30s, when in reality, they are quietly building a deeper internal foundation while everyone else is busy chasing appearances and external approval, while the crowd copies goals, lifestyles, and highlight reels from social media. The loner asks difficult questions. Who am I? Which beliefs truly belong to me? What kind of life actually feels meaningful? As your awareness grows, you begin noticing hidden social games, fragile egos, and constant validation seeking. Suddenly, the noise becomes obvious, and participating in it starts feeling emotionally exhausting instead of exciting. You step away from the crowd not because you dislike people, but because your mind naturally searches for authenticity, honesty, and conversations that carry genuine meaning instead of empty social performance. Psychology suggests that highly intelligent people often develop specific habits when they spend time alone. These habits strengthen thinking, improve judgment, and gradually build an unusually resilient and adaptable mind. The first habit is epistemic patience. Instead of rushing toward quick answers, they allow important questions to remain open, trusting that deeper understanding often arrives only after careful observation and thoughtful reflection. The second habit is active self-disagreement. Instead of defending every opinion, they deliberately challenge their own beliefs, searching for weaknesses and blind spots because discovering the truth is always more valuable than protecting the ego. The third habit is metacognition. Rather than becoming controlled by every emotion, they step back and observe it with curiosity, asking why they reacted that way and what the feeling is trying to teach them. The fourth habit is cognitive flexibility. They constantly revise their internal map of reality, willingly replacing outdated beliefs whenever stronger evidence appears, allowing their understanding of the world to become more accurate over time. The fifth habit is intrinsic curiosity. They willingly spend hours exploring topics that appear completely useless to everyone else, simply because learning itself feels rewarding, meaningful, and deeply satisfying to their naturally curious mind. The sixth habit is real-time editing. If they discover they are wrong during a conversation, they willingly change their opinion immediately because truth matters far more than appearing intelligent or protecting personal pride. The seventh habit is autocognitive engagement. They genuinely enjoy their own company because being alone allows uninterrupted thinking, creativity, reflection, and the freedom to explore ideas without outside pressure or constant interruption. There is a surprising paradox about solitude. The people who spend meaningful time alone often become better at building deep relationships because they value quality over quantity and genuine understanding over constant social activity. Most conversations never move beyond facts and small talk, but meaningful relationships grow when people slowly share fears, dreams, struggles, and personal experiences that require trust instead of performance. Because their social energy is limited, they naturally become selective. Instead of maintaining dozens of shallow friendships, they invest deeply in a small circle of people who genuinely understand and respect them. These relationships are built on mutual understanding. Everyone knows there are moments for meaningful conversation and moments for peaceful silence, and neither one threatens the strength of the connection between them. To protect this rare mental strength, intelligent loners become architects of their environment. They understand that focus is rarely a matter of willpower alone. Instead, it is created by designing daily surroundings that naturally encourage calm thinking and discourage unnecessary distractions. Every evening, they practice the analog hour, allowing every digital device to rest in another room. During this quiet period, the brain finally has enough space to slow down, recover, organize memories, and prepare itself for deeper thinking tomorrow. Rather than depending on motivation, they increase friction for distractions and reduce friction for meaningful habits. Small environmental changes quietly influence hundreds of future decisions without requiring constant self-control or mental effort. By protecting their evenings instead of surrendering them to endless scrolling, they transform recovery into growth. The hours that most people unconsciously waste become the hours that quietly reshape character, knowledge, and emotional resilience. Life is remarkably short, roughly 30,000 days. Most people unknowingly spend those days chasing the crowd's definition of happiness, believing that more attention, more status, and more approval will finally bring lasting fulfillment. But the loner understands the backwards law. The harder you chase validation, the further genuine peace moves away. Real confidence appears only after you stop needing everyone else's permission to value yourself. Every quiet decision matters. Choosing a book over endless scrolling, choosing reflection over distraction, and choosing one meaningful conversation over a loud party slowly becomes evidence that shapes a stronger personal identity. Over time, these repeated choices create something more valuable than intelligence alone. They build self-trust, emotional stability, deeper thinking, and the quiet confidence that comes from consistently living according to your own values instead of public approval. In a world that is rapidly losing its ability to focus, the person who can comfortably sit alone with their thoughts becomes increasingly rare. Silence becomes an advantage because it allows clear thinking while everyone else remains distracted. Don't be afraid of being a loner. Be afraid of becoming so connected to everyone else that you lose the connection to yourself. Protect your silence, reclaim your attention, and build a life that genuinely belongs to you.